Do not put it in the garage. Don't do it. Hi, hello, welcome back. My name is Cooper. I, as always, am your favorite painting teacher, and I have over 15 years of painting experience. And today I'm back in the studio with 5 more things that every artist should consider doing after they finish the undergraduate college experience. And this week I'm also going to be talking about, I think that this sentiments apply to grad school as well, because I made this video last week, and then sitting here today and starting to think about moving out of my own studio, I thought of more things. And so I thought, I'm going to share these. And so we're going to get into it. So here are 5 things that you can do to improve the quality of life as an artist once you graduate college. So let's get into it. Thing number 1 is document all of your artwork. After you have spent years of your life, hours and hours of your time making your art images and your art objects, you're going to need to apply to things with that work. And so the best thing you can do is invest in documenting that work. You can outsource that labor and that technical work to a professional photographer who's versed in documenting work specifically. It is a pretty specific skill if you're trying to do it well, because there are things like, color corrections and white balance, lighting conditions and DSLRs. And if you have the capital to throw at that problem and outsource it, great. However, you can also do it yourself using a few general rules of thumb. And these are not going to be as high quality as employing a professional to help you with this, but it still can be done. And so the way that you want to document your own work is using even light. And so ideally that's outside cloudy daylight. That's a really even distribution of light. Or you can do indoors with 2 lights at a 45-degree angle facing your artwork on the wall. And you want ideally to have a tripod to put your camera or your phone on so it's really steady. And then once you've taken your lovely photo, you want to crop in to the edge and make sure there's no glare or anything like that. So that's just a really basic, quick way to document your own work in that way. But I do recommend doing that because I think it's really important to invest in your work, and especially because you're going to be putting this work on your website, you're going to be putting it in your digital archive, you're going to be applying to stuff with it. So it's in your best interest to invest in the work that you spend so much time and love hours making, to have a good documentation of it. So that's the first thing you need to do, is you need to invest in documenting your work in some way, shape, or form. Thing number 2 is, once you have documented your work, you need to know how to properly store and label your artwork. Inevitably, you're not going to be able to put everything up once you move. And because you have to move, you need to store it properly so it doesn't get damaged in that process. And this is a little different depending on whatever kind of object you're trying to move. So if you only work in projections, great, you just have to move the projector. But if you're a painter like I am, and you have to unstretch your artwork, what you want to do is unstretch it, put a piece of glycine or thick plastic against it, wrap that up image facing out. And there's a specific reason for that. That reason is that if you have an older painting, especially, if it cracks when you're rolling it, then if it's image face out, then those cracks, you can hide them once you unroll it, right? So if you say that this side is the image face out and you're rolling it, cracks will form as you roll it, but then when you unroll it, they will disappear. As opposed to if it's image size in, cracks will still form when you roll it, but then when you unroll it, they'll be even more apparent. So that's why with paintings, you do image face out. So you roll that up, put it in a tube, a sealed tube. With drawing, it's similar, but you do image facing in so that nothing scores the surface as it's being moved. And again, with drawing, if you can, put something down like glycine or plastic on there before you put it in a tube. Other receptacles for drawing would be a flat file, a metal container, thin. The thin drawers is the best way to store your drawings. Once you've done that, consider any artworks that you have that maybe have smudgy surfaces or tools that you use that will smear or get powder everywhere if you move it. And so with those ones, you want to spray it with spray fixative and let that air dry and off gas, which is what happens when you spray chemicals on it. It gases and aerosolizes, and so you have to wait for that process to finish. And then once that's done, you put the glycine down and you either roll it or you put it in the flat file. No matter what you do, the ultimate rule of thumb with storing your work properly is do not put it in the garage. Don't do it. I know that's the place we all store things. When it comes to artwork, you risk a lot of damage to your artwork when you put it in a place like the garage. And that is because garages are not insulated, which means they are subject to extreme heat changes in hot and cold throughout the day and night in any given season. And the longer your artwork's in the garage, the more likely it is to be damaged by that process, especially if you do something like keep your paintings stretched and so they're on wood bars. Those wood bars are porous and respond to the temperature and the environment around them. And they can warp, which is a horrendous problem to have as a painter. Not to mention the possibility of floods, theft, just moving other stuff around in the garage that can damage the work if you forget that it's there or someone else is moving it and they don't know that they need to be careful around your work. So please, please, please do not store your work in the garage, but have a good system for storing your work and also label it. So if you unstretch 10 paintings and roll them all up in one roll and put it in a tube, you're going to forget what's in there unless you have something written down either on the tube or in a spreadsheet somewhere saying, here's what's in tube number 4. Tube number 4 has this painting, that drawing, this painting, that painting. Although never store paintings and drawings together. It should be these 5 paintings are in this tube, these drawings are in that flat file, this sculpture is in this box over here, stuff like that. Save yourself a world of hurt. Okay, thing number 3 is once you've done all of that, make a spreadsheet and put all your art in it. And what I mean is have a spreadsheet that has all the titles for your work, has all of the dimensions, has all the descriptions of what the thing is, and it also has the accompanying information like the materials it was made of, and any notes on the work, as well as hyperlinks to the actual picture of the work. See point 1. See my previous point, point number 1, which is documenting your artwork. So if you have a picture of the work, you have a spreadsheet of the work with the title of the work, you can hyperlink that title. And if you forget what it looks like, you can click on it and it will just go right to the picture. But also have a note section on there telling us if it's damaged or if it still needs a high resolution image or if it's been sold. And if it's been sold, who has it if you need to find it, if you need to borrow it for a show or something like that. So having a place where you have labeled all of the work that you have and you have a sense of what it is, what the necessary and relevant information about it is, and where to find it will save you so much time. And then once you have that spreadsheet, keep it up to date. You're going to find that's a through line in this video. Keep all these things up to date. Otherwise, you have to go through this process in a long form, and it's irritating. Okay, that's thing number 3. Thing number 4 is update your website and keep it updated. So when you graduate, you're going to start using your website a lot because your website serves lots of functions for you. It is your portfolio. It's a directory of where to find all your projects. It's also your artist business card. And if you choose to use your website for this, it can also be a newsletter. It's a way for you to have complete control over a digital arena of where to share information about your work. A lot of people will use Instagram as a supplemental form of a website, but then you're beholden to certain things outside of your control. Instagram has its own algorithm and its own rules and parameters for what goes on, how the content is disseminated, who can have access to it based on if you want to opt into their pay-to-play boost system or whatever. But your website is a place where you have complete creative control, and there are advantages to that. The other thing with that is keep your most recent work on the website. Your website is a reflection of your projects and the information and the important information about you as an artist, and you should keep it up to date so that I think that's in your best interest and in your audience's best interest, so that you're not applying to stuff with new work, but on your website you're just showing stuff that's 3 or 5 years old. It's not exactly a great look in thinking about your professionalism. Last thing I'll say about websites is it's a lot easier to do this process if you've done these other first 3 steps. If you already have all of the pictures of your work, high resolution images. If you have all the information already written down somewhere, then when it comes time to update the website, it's a lot faster to do because you're just plugging in information. So update all your stuff and keep it up to date so you don't have to do a big overhaul super often. That's thing number 4. And the last thing that you should do, thing number 5, is you have to reorganize your cloud storage or your digital library. And that is because if you're graduating from a school, most likely you've been using a university email address and a university cloud storage system such as Google Drive. And so if that's the case, they're going to scrub your account and delete it after you graduate. So what you have to do is download everything you have onto a hard drive, onto your desktop, and then re-upload it onto your own personal cloud storage or digital library. I'm using those terms interchangeably here. And then once you've done that, then you have to reorganize everything, which is a slog, I'm not going to lie. But then once you've done that, you have a completely clean digital library, right? Everything's organized, you know where everything is, you know how to find it. And it makes your life as an artist so much easier. I've talked about this before, how much easier your life is as an artist. If you say, for example, have to apply to something when it's due the day of, if you already have nice images, well labeled, and you know where to find them, and you can plug in all your statements and everything, you can apply to things pretty quickly. As I'm saying that, I'm reminded that I have a thing due in 2 days that I have to apply to. So thank goodness that I'm making this video for me and you. Last thing I'll say is if you have questions about how to organize your digital library, I do actually already have a video about that point, and it's called Using the Para Method for Artists, where you can structure your digital library into projects, archives, resources, and another A thing. Areas. Okay. So those are 5 more things that I have for you. To sum up, what you need to do when you graduate is document all of your artwork, store your artwork properly and label it, make a spreadsheet of all your artwork, right? So you know where it is, and then update your website with all this information. And then the last thing is organize your digital library. If you can do these 5 things, you'll be set up for success in a way where you'll thank yourself down the line many, many times. That's all I have for this week. If you got something out of this, let me know in the comments. If I missed anything or you have questions about things that you need to do, if you're feeling lost or directionless, drop me a line and I'll do my best to get back to you. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you next time.